One of the least discussed realities that many high-achieving women face is strategic isolation. Not just loneliness in a general sense, but the experience of carrying a great deal of responsibility, visibility, and decision-making without enough true peer support, wise reinforcement, or protected space to think clearly. A woman can be highly accomplished, highly respected, and surrounded by people, yet still feel deeply alone in the places that matter the most. She may have colleagues, she may have clients, she may have team members, she may have family, she may have people who admire her, who rely on her, and who need things from her. And still, she may not have enough spaces where she can speak honestly, think strategically, and be fully understood without having to manage how she is perceived. In this video, I want to talk about how powerful women become strategically isolated, why isolation is so costly, and why the right kind of support changes far more than most women realize. When I say strategic isolation, I do not simply mean being physically alone. I mean a more refined kind of isolation, a more refined kind of separation, the kind that happens when a woman has very few places, very few spaces where she can think out loud honestly, process complexity intelligently, and be met with real understanding rather than projection, dependency, or oversimplified advice. Strategic isolation often happens when a woman is carrying important roles, high standards, and real responsibility. She may be the decision maker, the stabilizer, the leader, the one others turn to for clarity. And because she is the one who holds so much, she may have fewer people around her who can truly hold space for her. That is a different kind of problem. Because the issue is not merely social connection. The issue is whether she has access to the right kind of connections. Connections that support discernment. Connections that support leadership. Connections that allow a woman to stop carrying everything internally by herself. There are many reasons why powerful women become strategically isolated. First, the higher a woman rises, the fewer truly equal peer spaces she may find. She may be surrounded by people, but not by people who understand the weight she carries. Second, visibility changes how others relate to her. Some people admire her. Some rely on her. Some may feel intimidated by her. Some may project onto her. And all of that can make honest, candid, mutual relationships more difficult to find. Third, many high-achieving women become accustomed to being the capable one, that they stop expecting to be deeply supported themselves. They become skilled at containing, managing, and continuing. Fourth, in male-dominated environments especially, a woman may feel that she must remain composed, measured, and highly self-managed. She may become careful about what she reveals, where she reveals it, and how it may be interpreted. Over time, this can create a life where she is known in many ways, but not fully held in the ways she needs most. Strategic isolation is costly because leadership is heavier when a woman must carry too much of it alone internally. Without the right support, a woman may overthink longer than necessary. She may sit alone with decisions that may benefit from wise reflection with the right peers. She may second guess herself more than she should, or she may become so accustomed to self-reliance that she stops noticing how much internal labor she is carrying. Strategic isolation can also narrow a woman's perspective, not because she is incapable, but because leadership without meaningful reflection can become more pressured, more compressed, and less spacious than it should be. It can also deepen exhaustion, because even a very strong woman should not have to process everything important all by herself. And perhaps most importantly, strategic isolation can quietly distort what a woman believes is normal. She may start thinking that carrying this much privately is simply part of being high level. But that is not always true. Sometimes it is simply a sign that the right room is missing. Many women have people who care about them, and that is very important. That matters. But ordinary support is not always enough for a woman navigating complex leadership, visibility, and high-stakes responsibility. She may have loving relationships, but not relationships built for strategic reflection. She may have encouraging people around her, but not people who understand power, positioning, leadership pressure, and the subtle costs of operating in environments that do not fully support her. This is why generic support can feel comforting but not sufficient. A woman may feel cared for, yet still not feel fully met in the realities that she carries. She does not simply need sympathy. She needs intelligent company. She needs nuanced conversation. She needs space where she does not have to explain everything from the ground up. She needs the kind of room that strengthens clarity, not just emotion. That kind of support is different, and it changes much more than most women expect. When a woman enters the right room, several important things start to shift. She realizes she is not the only one carrying certain types of complexity. She gains language for experiences she may have had, and felt, but not yet fully articulated. She becomes less alone in her thinking. She becomes more discerning in her decisions. She also stops using so much of her energy to manage internally that which could be more wisely processed in the presence of the right people. The right room does not remove all difficulty, but it changes the quality of how a woman carries what she carries. It gives her better reflection, better perspective, better calibration, better support. And that matters deeply. Because high achieving women do not only need information, they need environments that strengthen them at the level that they are, at the level where they are actually living and leading. So I want to leave you with a few questions. Where in your life are you more alone than people realize? Where are you carrying complexity without true peer support? Who in your life can meet you not only with care, but with wisdom, nuance, and true understanding? And where might the absence of the right room making your life and leadership heavier than they need to be? These are important questions, because a woman does not become weaker by needing the right support. She becomes wiser by realizing when it is missing. A great deal of my work is devoted to helping high-achieving women step out of exactly this kind of isolation. Not because they are incapable of caring a great deal, but because many exceptional women have been carrying too much internally, too privately, and for too long. If you are a woman who is accomplished, visible, and capable, but you know the next chapter requires wiser support, stronger reflection, and a less isolated way of leading and living, this conversation is for you. I'm Dr. Martha Greideck, and I'll be sharing more in this series for high-achieving women who are ready for a more supported, more strategic, and less costly path to success. A powerful woman does not need to carry everything alone in order to prove that she is strong. Sometimes strength looks like entering the right room.